Hey guys, Sebastian here from Leading Man Attraction. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 5 principles of Daygame and how to get results by approaching women in the streets like this, in a city such as Prague, like where I am right now. We're going to be breaking down the 5 most important steps so that you get the most results out of your approaches and interactions with women. Let's go. So principle number 1, probably the most important if you want to get a positive reaction from a woman, is opening. So opening simply refers to getting a woman's attention, not startling her, and making sure that you can transition into the second stage, which is actually having the conversation. So when you're doing an opening, what is the most important thing is to make sure that you are already in a good state of mind, you're thinking it's going to go really, really well, and that you're constantly positive. Because when you have that positivity, you're very likely to feel good about the approach, and then your open is going to come across very naturally, and no matter what you say really, you're probably going to get a decent response. Now, a lot of guys actually struggle with this, which is why they don't get any results with Daygame. They actually quit before they even try, and they always say to me like, what do I actually say? How do I actually open? And this is something that I used to struggle with when I was beginning as well, so I completely understand it. But it doesn't have to be that difficult. It's actually very, very easy and very simple. And the best way of doing this is to just go in with a direct opener. A direct opener that falls into an observation. So you can say, hey, excuse me, I thought you looked cute and I wanted to say hi. After that, you go into an observation and make sure that you are constantly smiling, keeping up good vibes. You're not coming across as really weird. And that's what's going to get you that positive reaction. Now, after you open, you have 2 options. You can stop the girl in that place where you just approached her, or you can walk with her. Now, depending on how she reacts to you, you can either stop her or you can walk with her. If you can see that she's having a really positive reaction to you, she really appreciates that compliment, you can stop her in that position. If she doesn't react that positively to you, you don't want to be too invasive, and you can walk with her a little bit, and then you can talk to her, build a little bit of rapport, and when that happens, she might actually feel like, you know what, I want to talk to this guy, and then you can stop her. So calibrate your opener, calibrate how you're gonna do things after you open, because if you don't, it's very likely that you're gonna get nervous, and when you get nervous, you're not gonna come across natural, and it's very likely that she will reject you. The second principle that is very important for a successful approach is to hook the girl. Now that simply refers to the girl actually understanding why you've approached her and then wanting to talk to you. So with your opener, by being direct, she understands why you've approached her. But she's not quite sure if she likes you yet, right? So a lot of guys will try to get a woman's number right after opening in a direct fashion. And a lot of the time, that results in a very flaky number. And we've all been there before, where we've done that ourselves. So we really understand that this doesn't work. So we need to hook. We need to develop a little bit of a connection so that she understands you've got a great personality, you're a fun dude, and she's gonna have a great time by going out on a date with you. So remember that after the open, don't just go in for the number, because it's very likely going to be a flake. 99.9% of the time, actually. So build a little bit of rapport, right? Make some assumptions about her. What is she doing in the city, right? Is she a tourist? Is she a local? Pick up on her accent. Does she have a foreign accent? Is she a local, right? Figure things out about her. Maybe look at what she's carrying. Is she carrying heavy shopping bags, right? Has she just done some shopping? And also, don't just ask questions. Don't just make assumptions. Actually share a little bit more about yourself as well. A thing that really helps here too is to use physical escalation. So when you introduce yourself, you want to put out your hand and hold it, and maybe pair a little compliment as you're making an observation with a little bit of a smirk on your face. Again, don't overplay this. Don't try to be a player. Don't try to do something that isn't natural to you, because she's going to pick up on that and you're going to get rejected again. I know, because I've tried that myself. If it's not natural, it doesn't come across well, and you're just going to come across fake, and she's going to just reject you. So to summarize point number 2, you want to use physical escalation where appropriate, right? Make sure that it is appropriate, that you calibrate yourself, and you only use it when she's feeling positive about you. Because if you try it in an inappropriate moment, it might make her feel a bit jumpy, and again, that's going to result in probably a rejection. So physical escalation is important, and then the second thing that is important is to ask questions and share a little bit more about you so that she gets what kind of vibe you've got. So the third principle is flirting and building comfort. So once you've hooked and she's stationary and she's talking to you, you actually want to flirt. You don't want to come across as a guy who just wants to be her friend, right? So there's multiple ways to flirt. One of them is to find commonalities. Another way is to tease. And another way is to use negs, right? So there's multiple ways that you can flirt with a woman, and there's multiple ways to build comfort. Without doing that, again, your number is more likely to be quite flaky. So make sure to flirt, make sure to build commonalities, make sure to tease, make sure not to be afraid to neg, especially when you find out information from the girl, from the questions that you ask her. It's very, very important if you want to make that number solid and if you want to solidify the idea of going out on a date with her. So phase number 4 is figuring out her date logistics. In other words, her schedule over the next few days or even the same evening if you want to have a date on the same day that you've met her. Phase number 5 is closing, which simply refers to getting her number and then setting up the date over Daygame. So the best way to do this is to figure out her logistics for either the same night by asking her, hey, what are you up to tonight? Or by asking, hey, what are you up to over the next few dates? If, for example, you have a date already for this night. Once you figure that out, she's going to give you her kind of availability over the next few days or the same evening. You're going to go into asking her for her number. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your phone out. You're going to say, hey, let me grab your number. I'm going to shoot you a quick little text, and then we can set up a time and a place to meet up. And that is simply everything from opening to building a little bit of rapport, flirting, building comfort, and then finding out logistics and closing. Now, if you want to know how to actually do this in person and start implementing it into practice and getting more dates, reach out to me on leadingmyanattraction@gmail.com. You can come out to a city such as Prague with myself, where I will coach you for every single one of these steps, and we're going to work on improving your dating life. Until next time, peace out.